So today's story from the book The Jesse Tree is called Speak, Lord, Your Servant is Listening. Be careful where you step. I put down my spectacles somewhere and I can't find them. The carpenter was in a rage. His woodworking tools lay scattered at the foot of the Jesse tree. Without his glasses, he could not see to work. Without his glasses, he could not see to find his glasses. The boy bounded around the church, searching the side chapels and looking under the pews. You should have a spare pair. Do you think I'm made out of money? No, a spare pair of eyes I meant. What's that you're carving? It looks like Aladdin's lamp. He returned to the Jesse tree and stood rubbing it with the cuff of his sweatshirt. It's a jar of oil, growled the carpenter. In the old days, a man became king only when the high priest anointed his head with holy oil. So is this a story about a king or a priest? What story? Was I telling a story? You may as well, said the boy, making himself comfortable, until your glasses turn up. There once was a woman who so longed for a child that she made a deal with God. Grant me a son, dear Lord, she prayed, and I'll give him back to you. True to her word, when Samuel was born, his mother loved him and nursed him, enjoyed and taught him, then gave him up to be a servant in the temple at Shiloh. Eli, the high priest, was a very, very old man, older than I am, and blind, pretty much near blind. He had sons who would take over from him when he died. But in the meantime, he had Samuel to be his hands and eyes. The priest and the boy lived out their days and nights in the temple, sleeping on the floor in the big darkness. During the day there was always noise, singing, chanting, the murmur of doves, the twitter of sparrows. At night, the silence was solid black. But it held no terror for either of them. Eli's whole world was dark, and for Samuel there was the glimmer of the sacred lamp burning like a single watchful eye. Samuel, Samuel! The boy raised himself up on his elbow. The words had awakened him. The old priest clearly needed him. Perhaps he was ill. Jumping up, Samuel ran to Eli's side. Yes, master, here I am. Oh, what's the matter, child? Said Eli, bleary with sleep. You called, so I came. I didn't call. Go back to sleep, child. Samuel went and lay down again. Samuel, Samuel. It was a gentle voice and very familiar. Samuel jumped up at once and hurried to Eli's side. Here I am, master. I did not call, said the old priest, opening his blind eyes. You are dreaming a lot tonight. So Samuel went back to bed, but again the voice called to him. Samuel, Samuel. Samuel felt his way through the darkness to Eli's side. You did call, master. You did. Then Eli understood. Go back to bed, child, and if the voice calls again, say, Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. All his short life, Samuel had been trained to obey without question or quibble. So he went back and laid his head down, though his eyes strained open in the darkness and his heart was jumping. Samuel, Samuel, called the voice, patiently awaiting an answer. Samuel knelt on his bedroll. Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. And God spoke to him out of the gentle dark, out of the glow of the sacred lamp, or out of the most distant galaxy. I have news for Eli, the voice said. Bad news. and you must be the one to break it to him. His sons are not fit to do the work their father has done. They will not live to take his place. You are my choice, Samuel. You are the one I need." When the voice fell silent, Samuel did not want to tell the good old man such crushing news. But the next morning, Eli was anxious to know. What did God say to you, boy? What secrets did God entrust to you?" Samuel was afraid that his words would kill the old man right then and there, but he spoke them faithfully, and Eli nodded, fixing his shineless eyes on the shineless future. Then he patted the air with a trembling hand and said, "God is good. Let it be." The Jesse tree stood incomplete. Its lower branches were crowded with leaves and symbols, but the upper branches were still trapped inside the slab of oak, like something ancient and only partly unearthed. "I see them!" cried the boy, his sharp eyes catching the glint of glass on a stone window edge. He ran and fetched the spectacles, and the carpenter, after dabbing his eyes, crammed the glasses back onto his face. "Shoo now," he growled. "I've wasted enough time today. Got to get back to work, you know." "I thought it would be Jesse today," called the boy from the porch. "After the O you carved for Obed." "O? What O?" "Oh, that O," said the carpenter gruffly. "Today, Samuel. Tomorrow, Jesse." And then he wondered why he said it. The boy would come back now for sure, expecting another story. And the next story will be tomorrow's story.